Assalamu alaikum to everyone. May the peace, mercy, and blessing of Almighty God be upon you. So, in today's topic, we're gonna browse through on such a great personality. In today's topic, we're gonna talk about such a great person who plays a vital role while designing the architectural drawing or architectural design of the holy mosques of the haramain. So, the man who designed Makkah and Madinah mosques. He was the Egyptian engineer and the architect who was far away from the public limelights. Unknown to many, Dr. Muhammad Kamal Isma'eel. He was Dr. Muhammad Kamal Isma'eel, an Egyptian citizen who was known as the Professor of Generations. He was the youngest person in the history of Egypt to obtain high school certificate, the youngest to get enrolled in the first Royal School of Engineering, and the youngest to graduate from it, the youngest to be sent to Europe to obtain three doctorate degrees in Islamic architectures. Besides, he was the first Egyptian engineer to replace foreign engineers in Egypt. He was also the youngest to obtain the nail scarf and the ring of iron from the king. He was the first engineer who undertook the planning and implementation of the haramain, Makkah and Madinah mosques, expansions projects in the history of Islam since its inception 14 centuries ago. He refused to receive millions of money as payment for his engineering design and architectural supervision, despite efforts by King Fahd and Bin Laden Company. So, when he was handed a check of millions, he told engineer Bakr bin Laden, "Why should I accept money for my work? As the two scared mosques, how can I face my Lord on the day of judgment?" He was a contemporary of the entire king of Saudi, from King Abdul Aziz to King Suleiman. He was a great expert in designing and supervision of engineering work, and he would not accept flattery or compliments from anybody in his duties, even if it were the king himself. So he attracted so much trust and love by King Fahd and King Abdullah. He had never married until he attained 44 years of age, and he gave birth to only one son. Then his wife died, and he remained single and devoted his full time in worship until he died. He exceeded 100 years which he spent in the service of the two holy mosques, far from the mass media, limelight, fame, and money. It is the right of everyone to know about this architectural genius. This genius has an amazing story in regards to the marble of Haramain, Holy Mosque, as he wanted to cover the floor of Haram Mosque for those making tawaf, and marble in particular absorbs heat completely. This marble is available in a small mountain in Greece. He traveled to Greece and signed a contract of buying a sufficient quantity of haram marbling, and it was only half of the quantity in demand completely. He sealed the deal and returned to Mecca, and the white marble came in stock. And indeed, the placement of the marble on the floor of the holy mosque in Mecca was completed. So, year passed by, and after 15 years later, the Saudi government requested from him to place similar type of marble in the premises of the holy mosque in Medina. Engineer Muhammad Kamal said, "When the king's office requested from me to cover the premises of the Prophet's mosque, I got very scared because there is nowhere on the earth to get this type of marble to cover its wide space except in a small area in Greece, and I have already bought half of the quantity, which is quite a small quantity." He said, "I went to that same company in Greece and requested to meet its director of administration and asked him about the quantity that remains. He said to me, "It has been sold immediately after you left." He said, "I became so sad, as I have never been in my life before, to the extent that I could not drink my coffee." I then left the office and prepared to leave with the next day flight. So when I left the office of the director of the company, I met the secretary and asked her, and I don't know why, who purchased the rest of the quantity. She answered me, "This happened for many past years, and it's difficult to return to the buyer." I said to her, "Since I have a one day before I leave Greece, I implore you to search his contact for me, and this is my hotel phone line." I left the number and went back to the hotel so sad. He said, "When I left, I asked myself, why do you want to know who bought it?" The genius engineer said, "I said to myself, perhaps Allah will make something wonderful to happen." On the next day, a few hours before I left for the airport, I received a phone call from the secretary saying, "Come to the company, we have found the address of the buyer." I went there in slow pace, asking myself, what would I do with the address of the buyer? It so happened that I had some remaining hours before departure, so returned to the company and met with the secretary. She gave me the address of the company which bought the rest of the marbles. The doctor and the engineer said. My heart pulsed and pumped deeply the moment I discovered that the company which bought it was Saudi company. I then took a flight immediately to Saudi. Then, upon arrival at the airport, I went directly to the company that bought the marble and went in to consult its director of administration. I asked him what he did with the marble he purchased for many years from Greece. He said, "I can't remember." He contacted the stockroom of the company and asked them about the white marble from the Greece, and they told him all the quantity is available as it was bought. Engineer Muhammad Kamal Isma'eel further narrated, "I then cried like a toddler, and the owner of the company asked me why I was crying. I then narrated to him the full story and said to him, 'This is a blank check. Just write the amount that you want.' He said, 'By Allah, who there is no God but him, he is the owner of the company.' When he realized that the marble is for the holy mosque of the Prophet, he said, 'I will not accept even one dirham. I dedicated all the marbles free for the sake of Allah. Perhaps Allah made me to purchase this marble and forget about it, so we can use it for this all important work of the Prophet Mosque when the time is due.' It's important for every Muslim to know about the architectural genius. It really amazed me, and I wanted to share this information with you too. Thank you.